I'm Rob and this is Gems of War. In this video I'm going to show you the teams I'm going to use for the Warren's faction event. I'm going to show two teams, the team I'm going to use at the very start of the event when things are fairly straightforward, and then a second team which is for use when things get more difficult, and this is the team that will carry you on for the entirety of the rest of the event. Now the team I'm going to start with, basically it is a Wild Folk team. We've got King Silentus there. All the Wild Folk allies start with 50% mana. And we've got him, Queen Beatrix, the Wild Queen, and Essence of Evil. The idea of this is we've got a nice cleanse there with Queen Beatrix, keeps everybody cleansed. And then she deals really good scatter damage as well, true damage, and also creates green and brown, which charges up the rest of the team. Green is handy for these three troops, and the brown is really handy for the Wild Queen. The Wild Queen steals up to 60 attack in my case from an enemy, and gives it to my first ally. Then creates a mix of 22 skulls and green, which is obviously good damage and also charges up our first three allies at the same time. To make sure she doesn't actually become an enemy by effectively setting up the team if she misses with those skulls and sets up the other team, it's a good idea to have something like this. Essence of Evil inflicts all negative status effects on an enemy and explodes a load of gems of their mana colour. So the idea is you cast this on typically the first enemy if they've still got a lot of health left, or if they're maybe one skull hit or two skull hits away from death, you should cast on the second opponent down, because basically if we kill the first opponent, then we've kind of wasted our cast of this weapon. And the good thing about the Wild Queen is as well, if she does miss with those skull hits, then you've reduced the attack of that opponent you cast on significantly, so those skull hits do not hit as hard as they would have done ordinarily. And on the banner side of things of this, I think we can probably do better than that. Let's have a look. Yeah, we want this banner. I know Silentus uses red, but we're not actually too concerned about his spell. Having that extra green and extra brown for the Wild Queen and Beatrix is far, far more important. On the class side of things, you can change it a little bit. I don't know why that's in Frost Mage at the moment, because that is probably not the best one. For this kind of team, I actually like something like Archer. And the reason is we get a 50% start with mana. We have a 15% chance for skull damage to be lethal. This is handy because we can be doing a lot of skull hits with the Wild Queen, and just most of the talents work particularly well. Hunter's Mark, don't think that one's particularly relevant. Root Trap is really handy, especially if you're a newer or early player. Entangling first enemy at the start is really nice, just ensuring you're safe from early skull damage. Nature's Aura creates a Leaf Storm at the start of the battle. Again, really nice because three of our teams, our main troops, use green, and all green allies gain 5 armor. And Child of Sky is there, and that is the main ones. And there, another way to go in this as well is actually Assassin class. That is the one I would pick ordinarily if I didn't have it to 100, but I've not got Assassin class to 100 yet, so this is a way I might go with something like this. A 10% chance to assassinate the last enemy when I deal skull damage is handy, so that's one way of getting a cheap extra quick kill in this. But also this has Swift Curse as well. Death mark a random enemy at the start is also handy. It's another chance to get another instant quick lucky kill. But I should be going with Archer for this. And actually, I'll just show the other team quickly now. So this is the team I'm going to start with, but for the sake of people that know about that, I'm going to show the other team as well, just ever so quickly, that I will change to when things get tough. Now I'm going to change to this. High King Irongut, Essence of Evil, the Wild Queen, and Leprechaun. High King Irongut is basically the king of the delves. He deals damage to an enemy with a chance to devour them equal to his attack and gains an extra turn. So basically any bonuses you got on this delve will be applied to that, so his attack will go up, increasing that percentage chance. And it works in a very similar way to the other team. Basically you got Leprechaun. He's going to start battles with full mana. You're going to cast him pretty much straight away, explode a load of green gems and charge up High King Irongut as quickly as possible and go for that quick devour. Once you get that quick devour, it normally puts your attack beyond 100, which means every single devour chance is guaranteed, providing the enemy you're trying to devour is not immune in any way, shape or form. And if they are, you can cast Essence of Evil upon them and take that away. Curse is something which removes things like impervious away from troops that are normally immune to devour, and then you can devour them once they have Essence of Evil cast upon them. As well as that, you've got the Wild Queen, similar to the other team, creating a load of skulls, a load of green, and that makes King Heingart's skull output even more higher, because basically when you've devoured someone, you gain their attack, and that is going to be super devastating for their team. The banner is the same as the other one, Mushroom Banner and class. I'm only an Assassin right now because I haven't got it to 100, but ordinarily Archer, again, is a very, very good class for this. So this is the team I will end up with and go all the way to the very end of this delve with this team in the end. But to start with, I will have to start with the team which I showed a second ago. It's all around a little bit quicker, but all I'd recommend is you do grab tier 1 from the shop. This gives you a potion of enchantment, which means all your troops will start enchanted at the start of every single battle for the entirety of this event, which is really handy. There is a weapon as well. It's in tier 4, the Garland Staff. Deals 40 scatter damage to all enemies, and then grants 1 to 2 status effects to all allies. Not quite sure why they've worded scatter damage differently there. It's a bit confusing. Normally it just says, if you look up your weapons and troops that deal scatter damage, put scatter in the search bar thing and search. It normally just says deal 40, in my case, scatter damage, and that's it. Why say 40 scatter damage to all enemies? Scatter damage is to all enemies by default. It's like, don't know why they've reworded that. It makes it a little bit confusing. Because overthinkers like me may think, does that mean now it applies to people that are submerged as well, where ordinarily they would be immune from ordinary scatter damage? I don't know. Anyway, enough overthinking. Let's get on with the fight. I've done the first one already because it was really straightforward, but you can basically do this 2 ways. It's 5 fights regardless, the shortest route. You can go by the top route like that, or you can go underneath and round that way. This way you do a level 1, 2, and then 2 legendary fights before the mythic, or this way they're probably about equal difficulty all round. You do a level 1, 3, 4, and then the legendary before the mythic. And if you want to increase the treasure room multiplier, you can obviously pick off these other rooms before you go and get that mythic room at the same time. So let's jump in. This is the starting team I'm using. It can get jumbled around here because you've got 2 tricksters there. They're going to move the team around if they get charged up, which they probably will, because it's quite difficult to get in fully our troops charged up before we can take them out. And we've not got anything great on our mana colours there either. We can cast Beatrix now, and that will wipe out the opposition. Yeah, I'll go this way. These are technically the wrong way around, really. At the moment, you probably want Queen Beatrix ahead of Wild Queen right now, so she gets first dibs or second dibs on green. Just makes it that a little bit faster sometimes if the gems go your way. It's a nice start on green there. No need to really worry about Essence of Evil right now. It can be a quick mana generator. Like, we can cast this on at the bottom there, and that's generated a load of blue for Beatrix. Now the legendary room. Cool thing about this team is everything just works so well with each other, which is exactly how you really want it on a delve team. Always look to get Beatrix charged up first. Can make things just that bit quicker. And the good thing about Essence of Evil is it's just such a good defensive weapon. You cast it on the first enemy, and it just restricts them massively. It takes literally every single status effect, including cursed, which I cannot state how handy that is. Any troops that were previously like immune to certain things, it just takes it away, and it's a really, really nice thing to have. It stops them collecting mana, stops them casting spells. They're frozen, everything. With all these skulls here, this is hard to resist casting the Wild Queen, but show what I mean about that, what you can do is you can cast Essence of Evil on the first troop. We accidentally killed them, but it doesn't matter because we got the rest of the team charged. But on higher level delves, when you cast Essence of Evil on the troops at the top of the roster on the enemy side, it just makes things that much safer. Because when you cast spells that create skulls, like Wild Queen, you're completely safe should anything go wrong with that cast. Because with a certain amount of randomness with Wild Queen's cast, it's not any way, shape or form guaranteed. It can go badly wrong. Sometimes she horrendously sets up the opposition, but the only way to be safe from that is to make sure you cast Essence of Evil on the first opponents. And this is a good example here. Don't need to do it, I can cast Beatrix and end it. But for example here, like the Wild Queen, we'll cast it on that enemy there. If she had missed with those skulls, then we'd have been safe from retaliation from the enemy. It's all stuff that experienced players are going to know, but I do try and do my videos for the benefit of early or newer players at the same time. Right, what I'm going to do now is I might just switch to the other team quickly. I'm going to have to change it around in the team. Don't need to yet. This team will be completely fine for a while yet in this team. But I'll just show how the High King Iron Gut team works. So we grab him, we're going to change that. We'll have him at the top, Essence of Evil second, Wild Queen there. You can have Beatrix instead of the Wild Queen, but I just like the way the Wild Queen works. If you don't have a Wild Queen, then indeed have a Beatrix. And we want Leprechaun for that fast start. Banners are the same. Ah, it's changed. Oh, that's actually ideal for this one actually. It's even better because we get brown for High King Iron Gut and the Wild Queen, which is nice. And I'm going to go to Archer. Now you want to make sure your medals are giving you a boost to attack. Get his attack up as high as possible on Iron Gut. So we'll have, still want a fast-ish start, so I'll keep an Anu. But if you want to be really sure, you can, there, now, let's increase his attack. And it's changed my team back round. How annoying is that? It'll only take a second to put it back. Right. Let's make sure it hasn't changed all that as well. Of course it has. Probably should didn't start a fight, it didn't store it as a team. Right, so just show how this team will work now. So this is the team that I would use when the other team starts to slow down a bit, and this team should carry you through right to the very end of the delve, even on the hardest battles. So his attack has been boosted to 97%. This should be really, really guaranteed. I didn't realise his attack was going to be that high, so what I would do in hindsight now is after this battle I would actually go back, put on a Medal of Anu again, which is 20% starting mana, and take away one of those medals that gave the boost, because still, you know, 97 is high, but we'll take 4 off of that from one of the medals and we should still be okay when casting him. Right, we'll just stop them from casting that, whatever that does. Now you'd get a guaranteed, pretty much guaranteed devour with that. Now it is guaranteed because his attack now is over 100. It's now on 117, which means every single time he gets a chance of a devour, it's going to happen. And we've got massive attack now as well, so any of these skulls that hit, which they didn't that time, are going to do tons and tons of damage. Choices here, you can cast Essence of Evil or try and do the old skull attack, and they dodged. 20% chance of skull to 20% chance to dodge skull damage. It seems to be more like 70% when the AI has it, to be honest, but that's the way it is. Alright, so I'm going to go back and then put on a Medal of Anu quickly. I can't actually, because you can't change a team when you've started this. You can't change a team, but can you change the medals? I've never tried this before. I wonder if it'll let me change the medals. Ah, interesting. So you can change the medals. Doesn't let you change the team once you've started a delve. But you can change the medals around. That's interesting. So we've got slightly less attack now, but we get a nice boost now in a mana start, which is handy. Cast Leprechaun. Essence of Evil has started. We can throw it on somebody. Most of them are stealthy, but we can chuck it on him. 93% chance of a Devour, and we can do that on the Frog because we don't want the team to be switched around. Nobody else has charged yet, so we'll take a nice easy kill. And that is that. Like, the reason why this works on the higher delvers is basically because of Hiking Irongut. A lot of people are going to know this, but basically it's so handy him being different colours to Essence of Evil as well, because if you get a start on green instead of Hiking Iron-Gut's colours, or Leprechaun charges both up at the same time, you just throw Essence of Evil on that first or second enemy, make sure they can't do any damage to you, concentrate on getting a Devour with Hiking Irongut, and once you've done that, normally your stats are way higher than what they were at the beginning, and you can just go to town getting those skull hits while casting the Wild Queen, and extra Devours with Hiking Irongut, and it is really that simple. Like here, we'll cast that on them. First enemy is already entangled. We've got that on second enemy as well now. We can get a Devour. We're on 124 attack now, so it cannot miss. We're going to get bonus attack damage when we cast spells. And that's what I mean about Wild Queen, when she misses. Luckily I didn't set up the other team because they were entangled, but on high level delves, if Wild Queen does that and misses with those skulls and the first enemy isn't entangled, you can be in for a lot of pain. And of course the benefit of Essence of Evil is they can just die quickly by Deathmark as well, which is again super handy. There are variations of this team, variations of Hiking Irongut teams. This is the one I like to use. It's a really good balance of attack versus defense. And if the colours go your way, it's pretty quick too, and it's always nice being able to shut down that first opponent, Devour someone who's not entangled, because basically if they're in first place, they're quite handy. And one little new beginner's tip there, which I'd done and was really stupid: make sure the enemy isn't immune to Deathmark, unless you're sure. I was pretty sure they weren't, and they're not. It's just it failed to kill them on a 93% chance, but they are immune to poison, disease, lycanthropy and Deathmark. But double check that an opponent isn't immune to Devour before you attempt to Devour with Hiking Irongut. And if they are immune to Devour, make sure you cast Essence of Evil on that opponent first, and then they will be devourable. Right, with the first troop entangled, you don't get any attack from them if you cast it on them, so always cast it on somebody if you can, which is not entangled. And cast Leprechaun again. Oops. Was that the mythic room? No. Now the mythic room. Just do this as the last one because it's fairly clear how the team works. So no obvious 4 matches at the start. Just a nice, easy, quick mana start with casting Leprechaun. Grab any extra 4 matches. If Iron Gut's not ready yet, you can throw this on any enemy which is not entangled. Now he is available. We'll cast this on somebody that's got the most mana or is most dangerous. And we failed again. That's 2 out of 3, 93% chances to devour have failed. That is the way the maths work in this game. It doesn't seem right sometimes, but you have to live with it. Oh dear. I once had my Iron Gut on 97%, and I failed to devour 3 times in a row. The odds on that are ridiculous. It really is. I think I did a video about that a little while ago, and I just found that actually quite funny. Because mathematically, a 97% chance to devour basically means you cast High King Iron Gut 100 times, it will devour 97 times out of that 100, and only 3 will fail. Yeah, it managed to fail 3 times in a row. That's like huge odds. That was quite funny at the time. Just finish these ones off. Right, so that is a team that I will use literally for the entirety of the rest of this delve. And I'll use the earlier team for the start of it. It's going to be nice and quick. But you could even use this team for all of it. It's still going to be fairly fast. But there's a video. If you enjoyed it, remember to hit that like and subscribe button. But most of all, thanks for watching. Catch you again next time. Bye for now.